What's going on, everyone? Mario here with Nickel Prints. Today's video is an extra special one. Today we're revisiting something that I gave up a long time ago, literally when I first started Nickel Prints, and that is screen printing. So one of the biggest reasons that people give up screen printing, or at least the biggest reason that I did, is for one, I just really never got down the technique, but two, it takes up a lot of space and it takes up a lot of time. So to burn a screen, it typically takes anywhere between 1 to 2 days. Now the reason it takes up to about a day is simply because after you coat your screen, you need to let the emulsion dry. But then once the emulsion's dry, you actually need to take that screen back out, put your different layered prints on there, and then actually burn the screen by exposing it to light. Now some people can speed up the process by putting a fan to the screens and drying it a little bit quicker. Other people say that that loses out on the quality. But at the end of the day, it takes a while. It's gonna take between 1 to 2 days to burn just one screen. Now, obviously you can make multiple screens and have all of them cure within the next 1 to 2 days. But today I'm gonna be giving you an option that is gonna take maybe a couple hours. So before we get started, huge thank you to XTool for sending over this entire screen printing setup. If you wanna check them out, the link to everything I'm gonna use in this video is gonna be in the description below. Now for this, what I'm gonna be using is an XTool D1 Pro laser engraver and the XTool screen printing kit. Now the first thing that we need to do is import our design into our XTool software, and from there we send it to the laser engraver to then get burned onto our screen. But first, let's go ahead and set up the screen. So here we have our frame, and what we want to do is flip it upside down. Now we're going to take our pre-coated screen and we're going to do the cardboard side down. Make sure you fit that right in the middle. Now these little inserts are included, and the long ones are going to go on the side and the short ones are going to go up top. So first we're going to loosen all of these tabs. We're going to do that on all 3 sides. Then we take our screen, make sure it fits right in the middle. Take our first tool, kind of wiggle it in there, make sure it's at an angle, keep it at about a 45-degree angle. Give it a little stretch on the side. Give it a little stretch on the other side. Do the same thing here. Make sure to keep it at that angle. Now for the top. And the last side. Alright, now once this is ready and we have our screen installed and everything on the side pushed in, next thing we gotta do is tighten up these little tabs. So we pull them in and then push this tab down. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Be careful not to over tighten it, because if you do, then you might rip the screen. If you feel that it's starting to get too tight, you can lift this just a little bit and it'll relieve some of the pressure. This top part doesn't have them simply because this is what goes inside over here to hold the screen up. So this we're just going to push down. Last but not least, over here. And now we got to get rid of this cardboard. So what you want to do here is you want to be very careful, and you want to start to lift it. Try to hold the screen down a little bit too. And as you can see, this just has 4 little adhesive strips. And that's it. Our screen is now ready to be burned. Now that the screen is burned and ready to be used, what we're going to do is insert it back here. So for this, we're simply just going to stick it in here, lower it a little bit, and tighten it by pushing these up and down. Now the cool thing about this machine is you can adjust the height of the actual screen itself. So over here on the side, there's a knob that you can loosen to make this rise or push this all the way down. The point behind this is to be able to print different sized materials. So you can push this all the way down and print a t-shirt, or let's say if we want to print on the squeegee, we can go ahead and put that here, adjust our height, and then we can print right on top of that squeegee, even though it's going to be a lot thicker. For this we're going to be using a t-shirt though, so let's go ahead and put this all the way down to its lowest setting. So when you have multiple colors, you do need to register your prints. You need to register and make sure your platen is aligned, make sure everything is where it's supposed to be, so that way you don't have any misprinted items. And in order to do that, you can use this micro registration system here. So this one pushes it forward or backwards. This one will adjust the side to side, but only from the bottom part. And then this one over here will adjust the same thing. It'll make it go from side to side, left to right, but for the top section up here. Today, however, we are only doing one color. We're gonna be testing this out with just a one color print, but make sure to subscribe because in one of our next videos, we are gonna be doing a multicolor print. Now remember, if you wanna check this out, if you like it so far, the link to the XTool D1 Pro and the screen printing kit is gonna be down in the description below. Now the kit does come with a bunch of different colored inks, specifically water-based inks, and for this, we're gonna go with yellow. So we got our shirt. Let's go ahead and lay that down. Then we lay down our shirt. So we take our ink, give it a nice little mix, take a nice glob over here, spread it out. We can put a little bit extra because at the end of the day, whatever we don't use, we can reuse and put back in here. All right, moment of truth. This is what made me not do it in the first place. I could not get the technique down. So let's see if I can do it with this one. Go ahead and flood your screen. Oh, I used to love that sound. So flood your screen, then lay down and push. Now this is gonna have to be 2 passes because the squeegee isn't big enough. Let's give it an extra pass just in case. And let's see how it comes out. All right, so far it looks pretty good. Now I think that I needed to burn a little bit more of the screen. I needed to put a little bit more power into it, but overall, it's not bad. Let's try one more time. Let's see if we can add a little bit more ink and actually get all the colors down, or at least to get the whole design down. Man, and I'm using expensive shirts. These are next level shirts. If you want to help me get my money back for these t-shirts that I'm using right now, make sure you hit that like button and make sure you subscribe. You can also use my affiliate link down below to purchase the screen print kit. Again, that is an affiliate link, so if you click it and make a purchase, I will get a small commission. All right, let's try again. This time, let me just add a lot more ink. All right, so once again, flood the screen. Okay, then push down and squeegee. Let's try it one more time. Let's give it another flood right there. Just make sure we get ink where we're in, and let's try. Okay, so it came out the same. So I do think that it's not necessarily a technique problem now. What happened is that this little part over here just didn't necessarily burn correctly on the screen itself. But overall, it actually looks really good. Like, I like how it looks over here. The ink does look a little bit dull, but that's because I didn't put a white base under it. If I had put a white base under it, let it dry, and then hit it with the yellow on top, it would be a lot brighter. All right, so let's get into some of the details about the project that we just did. So as far as total runtime, how long it took us to do everything, we did everything in less than a day. Everything took us literally about 2 to 3 hours. It took me about an hour and a half to be able to burn the screen. And then to set this up, it was, as you saw, it was done in minutes. So to actually get a screen ready with the traditional screen printing method, like I said, it would take about 1 to 2 days to just get one screen ready. Today, it took us less than a day, like I said, a couple hours. Now the cool thing is that these screens are actually reusable. So there are some special sprays that you can go ahead and spray on top of this to get rid of all of the emulsion. Then you can just go ahead and put emulsion back onto the screen and then just burn it again. Aside from that, if you don't want to do that, you can also purchase more of these screens through the XTool website. Makes it a lot easier, to be honest with you, to just go ahead and do that. But if you want the option to be able to reclaim the screens, you can. Then to actually set up the screen onto the frame itself, that in itself took us what, maybe 1 to 2 minutes? It was really fast. Now you can get this done a little bit quicker. You can burn the screens faster if you have a more powerful laser. The one that I have is a 10 watt. The smallest and weakest is a 5 watt, which I highly do not recommend. I suggest at least starting with a 10 watt because a 5 watt is just way too slow. A 10 watt is a great starting point. But then after that, there's also a 20 watt. And that one is a bit more advanced because it's used for a lot more different types of materials, and it's actually used for engraving and cutting different things. But if that's something that you want to get into, if you want to start to learn the game of laser engraving and laser etching, then by all means go with the 20. But you can get away with a 10. A 10 works just fine for pretty much the majority of any materials. Now in this video, we did only do one screen, but make sure you hit that subscribe button because in our future video, I am going to be doing a multicolor print. So I'm going to be doing something with maybe 2 or 3 different colors on it. I don't know if I'm going to do a t-shirt, maybe I'm going to do a box, maybe, I don't know, a tote bag. But in the end, it's going to be more than just one color. Overall though, I will say that as an entry point or as a starting point for somebody that wants to get into screen printing, this is a really, really good solution. And honestly, the price that you pay for this, it rebels a traditional screen printing set. So with the kit, I got 4 different frames with multiple screens. So you can do up to a 4-color print. Now, if you purchase more frames, you can obviously go up. You can maybe do a 6 or even 8-color print. But I think at that point, you might want to invest into either a bigger space or a bigger machine. But overall, regardless of that, this is a great starting point for anybody that's wanting to get into screen printing. Like I mentioned earlier, that one of the biggest reasons why I stopped is because aside from not being able to get the technique down, it takes a long time to burn a screen. If you don't have orders coming in that are requiring bulk orders, then screen printing isn't necessarily the best way to go about it at the beginning. But with something like this, it actually makes screen printing a lot more accessible because it makes it a lot quicker to be able to get started and to actually get set up. So as a quick finishing and final thought, there's always going to be some sort of learning curve, even with this, whether it be a bigger or a smaller learning curve. I think with this one, there's a much smaller one, but there is a learning curve. With that one right there, with that S right there at the end, it didn't fully burn through. Maybe I didn't put the screen on right and it was probably maybe just a little bit wobbly, or I don't know. I actually think I did a pretty good job. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. Remember, down in the description below, if you want to check out the XTool screen printing kit and the XTool D1 Pro laser engraver, it's going to be down in the description below. That is an affiliate link, so if you click on it and you make a purchase, then I will get a small commission. Huge thank you to everyone for watching, especially if you made it all the way to the end. Again, huge thank you to XTool for sending this over. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can check out our next video, which is going to be the multicolored print. Once again, my name is Mario with Nickel Prints. Catch you all next time.